So it's been 1 full year for Vic Mignogna, and the issues happened a year ago on this date for him, and even to this very day, there are still people out there that are trying to ruin his life. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, as many of you all know, January 16th was the big day for Vic Mignogna a year ago with Dragon Ball Super Broly, and also Mars Girl and LJ Montello started the whole Kick Vic movement. So there's going to be a lot we're going to get into here today, a few articles, and a little bit of a tidbit of some things that I cherry-picked just for this video, because there's a lot to talk about here. So as many of you know, a year ago, kind of talking about this whole thing, Vic Mignogna, obviously, he was fired from his jobs at Rooster Teeth and Funimation, and it was all over allegations that have no evidence behind them whatsoever, and it's sad to see how these people have treated such an innocent man. Cancel culture, as I have stated multiple times in multiple videos prior to this one, is a horrible thing, and cancel culture should obviously not exist. It is just terrible, and it's gotten so bad that this man can't even find a job within the industry anymore. And it's so sad to see this happen to Vic. And, you know, the good thing is, though, is that the appeals are happening, so that is an excellent thing. Glad to see that, because, as I've stated before, I thought that, you know, things with the previous judge, they really felt biased. And, you know, at this point, I think that these appeals, since they're going through, we're going to have results this time. And I think it looks like it'll be a better thing going forward. So we have a date for that. And we'll talk more about that when we get closer to that date and talk about the appeals. But, you know, Vic Mignogna, he's had a rough year. And, you know, he's a wonderful voice actor, brilliant man. And it's just sad to see what's happened to him. So we're going to get into a few articles here. We're going to talk about a few things. First off, Amanda Wynn Lee, as many of you probably know her for Rey in the original English dub of Evangelion. She was Rey, and, you know, of course, she hasn't reprised her role because in the movies they didn't pick her back up to play as Rey, and then, of course, Netflix has its own dub, and yet again, they just kind of botched the old cast and brought in new people, right? So Amanda Wynn Lee, of course, is salty as ever, and I think that justice kind of came around to her because while she's taking shots of Vic Mignogna, yep, she hasn't really gotten anything else in terms of voice acting. So, you know, I think there was some justice there because, you know, these people are just trying to still continue to ruin his life. It's like, you know, they continue and continue, and if you notice one thing, they won't continue till you're gone, until you're not here any longer. They do not quit until you are officially dead. That's how these people, sadly enough, work. But you thought that was bad? Well, there was a podcast recently, about a week ago, a little over a week ago, and these people call themselves the Violet Wanderers, and they are very notable names. So, Kick Vic and the Violet Wanderers podcast discusses strategies to publicly label Vic Mignogna as a offender to prevent future con appearances. Now, this is a very disgusting and slimy thing these people have done. Let's take a look at this article from Bounding into Comics. And this is what they wrote. Three of the leading voices in the Kick Vic movement, Rimfamous, everybody knows that blue-haired orca, LJ Montello, and Mars Girl, which LJ Montello, Mars Girl, started that whole Kick Vic movement, urged their fans and supporters to directly contact conventions to prevent any potential appearances by Vic Mignogna during a recent podcast guest appearance. Now, if you want to talk about collecting some of the worst people to be on a podcast, well, this was definitely the one. I mean, look at Rimfamous. She's the very person who also teamed up with Shannon McCormick. For those of you who may not know who he is the voice of Ozpin and Ruby, to dox a fellow YouTuber by the name of Tug, or That Umbrella Guy, and that's the big thing. And it was all because he supported Vic. Oh man. You know, it shows you how slimy and how awful these people are, and how low they'll go just to try to make sure that Vic fails, just to try to ruin his life. It's very disgusting. So looking at some of the quotes here. I'm old retired con staff and basically ended up coming to 2019 and seeing that we're dealing with last decade's problems in anime between Vic Mignogna and a whole bunch of others. But he's kind of taken front and center. It's just kind of one of those things where everyone knew about it for some time, but it was Whisper Network. It was, don't look behind the curtain. Of course, with that statement, they're trying to say that he's done all these terrible, horrible things. It's their way of saying, well, there's no evidence, we don't have it, but our statements alone, take that as evidence. Take that as our evidence. They're doing their best to try to come up with some way to make people believe that he did these things that he never did. And the thing of it is, these people believe in taking matters into their own hands. They believe in law Twitter and the court of public opinion, where when they deem someone as guilty, they're guilty no matter what. And that's not how this works. It's innocent till proven guilty, and that has to be taken up to a court of law, which of course these people don't believe in that, because when they deem someone as guilty, they're guilty. That's just how it is. There's no innocence to it, and no matter what, they will do whatever they can to destroy their lives. And even if the court were to deem them as innocent, they will still continue to ruin their lives. And with Vic and the appeals, say he does win the case with the appeals, right? These people will still say it's a mistrial, or they'll say that that was wrong, and they'll still continue to try to ruin his life no matter what until he's just no longer with us. It's a disgusting mentality these terrible, horrible people have. So, even if he's deemed innocent by a court of law, which he's clearly innocent, but even so, they'll never accept it, and they'll just continue to try to ruin him. It's just the weird, distorted, disgusting, idiotic mindset these people have. So, this is what Montello had to say.
Obviously with Me Too and this blowing up, but then of course Vic spent 15 years being enabled in building a cult. You can compare him to R. Kelly, I swear. Compare the fandoms.
And as you can tell right here, this is how they're trying to do whatever they can to defame Vic, and it's just a really disgusting attempt. But hey, there's more to this podcast to talk about that was recorded here. So let's continue with the article. As the conversation continues, the group begins to discuss whether exposure campaigns such as Kick Vic movement will have any lasting impact on convention culture and guest invitation standards, with an emphasis on the prevention of Mignogna from making any future convention appearances. See, going so far as to try to prevent him from going to any conventions. Montello and blue-haired Orca state that it's a matter of money and self-interest, and that it's come down to the staying power of the people who've criticized him. Don't they understand that money and self-interest is kind of how it works? These people, what? Okay, so here's their statements.
Montello, ultimately it's going to keep coming down to money. It's going to come down to self-interest. It's going to be about doing what's easy because it's, we have all these fans that are going to come. Assets and seats. This is how conventions determine who they invite typically. It's how many asses are going to get in seats. How many tickets he is going to push.
Yeah, it's called support. I mean, conventions want to bring people that people are going to be interested in. Herb the Derp. This is common knowledge. I mean, they want to make money. That's how they make their money, is by having people come to conventions. That's how the people that even come as guests make money. What? What? They also state that Mignogna's recurring convention appearances were done solely because people felt they had to bring Vic back because he would move tickets. Of course he would. That's why they did it, so they could make money. Wow, are these people... See, it shows you how stupid these people are. Telling fans they need to be vigilant. The pair then call on imposing potential financial consequence to the degree that they're not even willing to risk it on the conventions through complaints and backlash. If they're making the money, then what do they care? That's the point. It's like Vic's gonna bring them in money, and they know it. That's why they invite him, because people like the man. People want to see the man. They'll pay to see him. People will go to whatever lengths that are fans of people to see them. Are you kidding me? This is obviously how conventions make their money. Herp the derp. Oh my, like the stupidity. It's so bad. Alexis then calls on listeners of the Violet Wonder to campaign against any potential appearance Vic may have near them. Yeah, no. See, this is what I'm talking about. They'll do whatever they can to ruin this man. They will do anything they can to ruin him. It's disgusting. They'll do whatever they can to stop him and cancel him. Cancel culture, as I've said before, it's just a disgusting thing, and this is just more evidence of how awful and slimy people are trying to make sure that they can cancel anybody they disagree with. The group then turned to discussing specific tactics that could be used to achieve this goal, including pointing to various Google searches associated with his name and the accusations of offensive misconduct, and informing local communities that a documented offender would be around their children.
The key points to hit are the fact that he has a reputation now, and that there's a documented reputation that he has now. The fact that you can Google his name.
Rivermus responds with,
"You cannot play dumb anymore. It was playing dumb for a long time. This while we don't know. Nonsense is BS. However, you can't play dumb anymore."
Montello responds with,
"Right, but having these things in the media that are readily accessible is the way you go to a small local con that has invited Vic. Go to the local media and say, look, your local convention has invited controversial offenders. Whatever you want to use, because all those words have been used in the media. Look at what our local con has invited upon us and invited upon your children, inviting our community. It's a big deal for a smaller con or a medium-sized con."
Alexis responds with,
"There is a perverse sense and irony that I have that I would be able to turn around and won't somebody think of the children on some of these right-wing chads?"
Two things. One, they blame the right wing. Of course they do, because they always blame the right wing. Secondly, it's the whole think of the children madness again. These are the excuses they always bring up. Because these people, they are insane. They are crazy people that blame the same thing or come up with the same excuse. It's never anything new with these people. Then, of course, Mars Girl has to chime in and says,
"News outlets such as Variety or NPR are no small-time news outlets, you know. I'd say those are pretty big places to point to and be able to say, this is the kind of coverage this person received. It's not exactly positive. It's not just nerd outlets where nerd reporters were reporting on a nerd thing that were happening in the nerd world. It's in the local paper in Dallas."
And I mean, it just goes to show you that these people, all they're about is just trying to get rid of him. They're just continuing to try to bash his name, try to defame him, and bring up the same excuses they've been doing the whole entire time. Nothing new, and it's just disgusting. I mean, you even have people still on Twitter. Obviously, you would, because it's Twitter, and that's a cesspool for this kind of stuff. But they go on there, and they say things like this.
Calling his victims troubled, sick people, and telling his fans to not let them bully you is gaslighting. But further, it is actively encouraging our harassment, a daily occurrence of Vic's victims for the last year.
Yeah, okay, so if these victims were real, then how about the evidence? Love to have that, because you seem to always try to say these things, but you never seem to have the evidence to them. Because, oh wait, that's right. There is no evidence to prove that he did any of these things because, I don't know, he didn't do them. I mean, seriously, these people will stop at nothing, but I cherry-picked some very beautiful things that I did see at the same time. While Vic has had all these terrible things happen, one of the most beautiful things I've seen is the love and support that his fans have given him. And it's absolutely beautiful, them standing by him. That Star Wars girl went to a comic book store in California where Vic was to visit him, and this is what she had to say. "After waiting in line for hours, I finally got to meet Vic. What a lovely human being." And it's beautiful. It's such a nice thing. Another fan had to say, "Just a young lad talking to his favorite voice actor ever." I mean, it's fantastic. It's still good to see the support. And the thing that was so good about this was, at the small little comic book store that he was at, 700 people went to see him. It's such a beautiful thing. Another tweet here that I really liked was, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the full metal heart, the true legend, one and only Vic. Hail to the metal heart legend. Yeah." And it's just beautiful to see the love and support that he still has, that all of us give to him. He definitely deserves it. I love how he signed this scythe here. It's really cool because, to me, forever he will be Crow Bronwyn, as well as Broly and Edward Elric, and many other characters that he's voiced. And, he has my support as well as everyone else's. If I could have gone, I would. I would love to meet that man. But it just brings joy to me to see all the support that everybody gives to him, that he's not giving up, that he's still continuing to do what he's doing. And, it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to see the support that people can give to you. And this shows how wonderful the fans really and truly are. All of you out there that are fans, like I am of Vic, it's beautiful. And to see all the support this man gets, he deserves it. Because, he never deserved what happened to him. It's wrong from what Rooster Teeth, Funimation, what they did to him, all those voice actors and everything, the people that said they were his friends. It's so wrong. But within this year alone, while the bad things have happened, there's also been good to come out of this. And that's the support of the fans. Each of you that are his fans have done so much for him. We've all done our best to be here for him in every way we can. Many of us that have made content on this, we have shown our support in many various ways. And, people don't think about it, but, if it wasn't for the fans, people wouldn't get as far as they do. The fans provide so much, and, it's just so great to see so many people come together to try to be here for Vic. And it's a beautiful thing, though. I mean, while many bad things have happened, the beautiful and positive thing is seeing all the support that Vic has gotten from all of his fans over all this time. It's done so much for him, and it's just a ray of hope that shows that there are great people out there in the world. I mean, while you see a lot of these people that are trying to take Vic down, that are trying to ruin his life, there are great people defending him that are trying to show all the love and support they can and trying to help him in any way possible. And that's the beautiful thing that's come out of this, is that the fans have really come to show their support for Vic. And that's the thing, while the media sits over here and attacks fans of different communities all the time, if it wasn't for the fans, people like Vic or anyone else out there, they wouldn't have gotten out there if it wasn't for their fan support. Fans matter, and they're very important people. And showing their love and support for Vic has been such a beautiful thing. And, if you want to support Vic, I'm going to leave a link to his GoFundMe down below. So if you want to pitch in and help the man out, then you can. It's up to you, but it's just beautiful seeing how much support Vic has gotten under these circumstances. And I'm just so glad to see the support that all of you have given to him. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. And make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube is unsubscribing people from their favorite channels. So make sure you're still subscribed. Hit the video with a like if you enjoyed. Share the video, because YouTube doesn't like to support videos like these. So make sure to share it on social media. And follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. It'll also be able to keep you up to date on whenever new videos are coming out or other events like that. So the link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.